Hello everyone, welcome to Options with Doug, streaming live daily on Bookmap Discord and the Bookmap YouTube channel at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Before I get started, I need to go through the disclosures. General disclosure: all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and options involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. The focus of my presentation and the focus of the Options-Doug chat channel in Discord is options, order flow, the impact of options markets on stocks and futures, and the influence of market maker hedging flow on price action. I have a two-step process for trading, and the first is planning. And I use positional analysis. I look at how traders and market makers are positioned in the options market and how those positions change from day to day to develop a thesis regarding the expected trading range and volatility for the day, as well as a directional bias. And the second step of my process is execution. And I look at real-time order flow in Bookmap and real-time market maker hedging flow in Spotgamma Hero to confirm my thesis. And for setups, for entries and exits. And when I talk about setups, I will be talking about an underlying asset. And setups can be taken with shares of stock, futures, or options. Questions and comments are welcome, and I will be watching both the Options-Doug chat channel in Discord as well as the chat on YouTube for your questions and comments, so please feel free to post. All right, my agenda for today, what I want to cover: first of all, I want to go over news items, economic data, events, and earnings. Then I'll go through my positional analysis. Then I'll review some setups up until right before 2 p.m. That is the FOMC announcement. And at that point, wherever I am, I will stop and we'll watch the live market after the announcement at 2 p.m. All right, let's go over economic data, news, and events first. And again, the big event for today is the FOMC announcement and press conference. The announcement at 2 p.m., press conference begins at 2:30 p.m. And note, this is the Fed Watch tool from CME. Right now, there is about a 99% chance of a 25 basis point rate hike today. So, the market participants see almost 100% chance of a 25 basis point rate hike. So really, the question will be what the Fed intends for future meetings. All right, then for the rest of the week, there are some key economic data reports coming out. So on Thursday, tomorrow morning, GDP and durable goods orders at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and then on Friday, the PCE data at 8:30 a.m. and at 10 a.m. consumer sentiment. All right, so of course, the big event of the week is coming up in just a little bit less than 30 minutes. So we'll keep an eye on that. And hello, Karma FX. Welcome, glad you're here. All right, let's get started with the positional analysis. This is the S&P 500 futures, ES futures in Bookmap. And before I take a closer look at this chart, I want to take a look at a larger time frame. This is SPX in a 30-day 1-hour chart in Thinkorswim. Let me point out the levels on this chart. First of all, here's the lower and upper weekly expected move, shown with the dashed purple lines, and then the lower and upper daily expected move, and that upper daily expected move is just right below 4,600. So that's covered up by a Spotgamma level line. All right, so far SPX trading within both of those levels. That could change in a few minutes. And now let me point out some Spotgamma levels on this chart. First of all, the put wall at 4,500, that moved up substantially from yesterday. And this is occurring as the, remember last Friday was the monthly expiration, and positions are starting to build for August expiration. So the put wall is now back up at a more reasonable level at 4,500. The put wall is a Spotgamma proprietary level. That is the level with the largest net negative gamma that can be expected to act as support. So again, a substantial move up from 4,000 yesterday to 4,500 today. The next level up is the volatility trigger at 4,540. That is Spotgamma's proprietary gamma flip level. Below that level, market makers' position on the gamma curve is negative. In a negative gamma environment, market makers have to trade with price to hedge their delta exposure. And then on the other hand, like SPX is trading now, market makers above this level, market makers' position on the gamma curve is positive. In a positive gamma environment, market makers have to trade against price to hedge their delta exposure, and that tends to subdue volatility. And then the next level up is the 4,600 level, and that is the absolute gamma strike, the strike with the largest absolute gamma, as well as the call wall. The strike, that's the strike with the largest net positive gamma that can be expected to act as resistance, and that is expected to be the upper end of the range. All right, so much more narrow range now between the put wall and call wall. Put wall at 4,500, call wall at 4,600. And note that SPX has been trading in a narrow range for about a week. And again, that may change in a few minutes. All right, let's take a look at one other chart for SPX. This is a 1-day, 1-minute chart. SPX trading in a very narrow range. And now we can see in Bookmap, I have my own cloud notes, and I'm showing SPX levels as well as SPY levels. So there's the 455 volatility trigger for SPY. That level did move up from 454 yesterday. And then here's now the 454 zero gamma level. And the S&P 500 has been trading in a narrow range between these two levels. 455 acting as resistance, and just above the 454 level acting as support. All right, so those are the levels that are in play for the S&P 500, mainly trading between these two SPY levels, round number levels, 454 and 455. And shifts of levels again for SPX, put wall shifted higher, and for SPY, the volatility trigger shifted higher. But for the S&P 500, there were no changes to the call walls or absolute gamma strikes. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. And once again, the QQQ round numbers, the ETF round numbers come into play. So let's take a look at a QQQ chart first, just showing the levels that are in play for today. All right, so first of all, this 378, well, first of all, actually, this combo L1 level at 376.50 acted as support. Then the 378 level, that's not a gamma level, but that is a QQQ round number level, did act as resistance. Then price reversed higher just above the volatility trigger at 375. Then the 377 level acted as resistance. And now price is trading between the 376 level and the 377 level, waiting on the announcement. So, as we can see, the ETF round number levels are of vital importance to the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, at least in my opinion. All right, so here's the NASDAQ futures, NQ futures. I've got my own column of cloud notes here, and I'm showing the QQQ levels. There's a 378, 377, 376. And right here, this level is also an NDX level. That is the 15,475 call wall, and that is a key level. That's also the absolute gamma strike for NDX. So that is a key level for NDX. So note the resistance at the 378 level. I'm not showing that combo L1 level, but notice a large iceberg order came in at that level. Right here. And then this level, around this level, the 377 level, and as well as the NDX 15,475 level, also acting as resistance. So those are the levels in play for the NASDAQ. Shifts in levels for NDX, the volatility trigger did shift lower, and for QQQ, the volatility trigger and put wall shifted lower, and notably the call wall and absolute gamma strike both shifted higher to 400. So the call wall shifted higher from 390 to 400, and the absolute gamma strike for QQQ shifted up from 380 yesterday to 400 today. And as we can see, that 400 level is nowhere near in play for today, with QQQ trading just above 376. All right, so mostly bullish shifts higher in the levels, especially for QQQ. And we'll take a look at setups in a few minutes. All right, let's take a look at some other information here. I'm going to focus on gamma notional. This is market maker's position on the gamma curve for SPX, SPY, NDX, and QQQ. And note for NDX, this number is positive, although it is slightly less positive, but just about really unchanged from yesterday, from 464 down to 451 today. And for SPY, market maker's position on the gamma curve became more negative, from minus 255 yesterday to minus 411. And then on the other hand, for QQQ, market maker's position on the gamma curve did shift to slightly positive. This is all based on information at the beginning of the day. So yesterday, gamma notional for QQQ was minus 352, shifted to positive 23 today. So overall, fairly neutral positioning on the gamma curve for the NASDAQ and S&P 500. All right, my thesis for the day was it's a Fed day, so what happens in the morning is pretty typically a range day. So if we're looking for a range day in the morning and then expansion based on the announcement and the meeting, the press conference, and what Jerome Powell says. All right, let's take a look at some setups. I'm going to start with the S&P 500. This is a chart from Spotgamma showing the hero signal, hedging impact, real-time options. The white line is showing price for SPX. The purple line is the hero signal. Again, hedging impact, real-time options. This is showing options trades and market maker hedging activity for a combined signal of SPX, SPY, XSP, and ES, all into one combined signal. And this is what you want to use for the S&P 500. All right, let's zoom in on this. So pretty choppy signal here. And in the morning, let's zoom in on the morning. Traders were taking positive delta positions. And price, even as price was moving lower, and really not much of a helpful signal here until this reversal higher at around 11 a.m. and that was just above the SPY 454 level. So nothing in the morning really, no read from the options market until about 11 a.m. So let's go take a look at Bookmap. Go back to ES. And we'll get to some stocks. There were, in my opinion, much easier, much better setups in many stocks today than the S&P 500 trading in this narrow range. And that's the way I've been leaning lately, doing a lot better with single stocks than the S&P 500 and NASDAQ. So anyway, here's the reversal. Right around 11 a.m. just above the 454 level. Order flow here pretty easy to read. Note that as price approached that 454 level, larger traders were coming in with iceberg orders. Let me just get this scale out of the way. So larger traders coming in with iceberg orders, and at this level, Bookmap is showing one consolidated number there. That's 4,036 contracts, 35 different executions. So larger traders in there buying with iceberg orders, they use to hide their size as price approaches that level. Also note the liquidity here at the 45.80 level. And then price reverses higher. Note the bearish order flow, aggressive sellers moving price down, and then aggressive buyers start to come in. You can see with the green dots, the volume dots, market buy orders for green, market sell orders for pink. Pullback, long entry there as traders were taking positive delta options positions. And with a target up to the 455 level. and note the increase in cumulative volume delta. So nice clues in Spotgamma Hero and also an order flow here in Bookmap. Iceberg orders, cumulative volume delta, aggressive buyers coming in. So really not much of a read in this chop until 11 a.m. Much more clear signal for me. All right, let's take a look at NASDAQ. And let's go to Hero. So I'm going to look at a combined signal for NASDAQ. This is combined signal of NDX and QQQ. So the short setups here were a little bit more clear. Note that price was making slightly lower highs as Hero was moving lower, setting up shorts at around 10:15. Let's go take a look at Bookmap. So shorts around 10:15 at around the QQQ 378 level. So there's the short setup. And let's take a look at the long setup. And that's just above the 375 level. And note the shift in order flow here. Aggressive sellers down, sell stop orders shown here with the bright small green, red dot, as well as the falling yellow line. Then aggressive buyers start to come in, large green dots. And Sheena, hello, asked, at what point would you have considered either shorting or buying puts in NASDAQ? And well, I would buy puts in QQQ. And when you buy puts, I don't think you have to be as precise in your entry. So I think the trade was for short, just watching. So I've already looked at hedging flow. It was slightly negative, as I think order flow was also slightly negative. So just buying a 378 put would have been the trade for QQQ. And just there were multiple tests of this 378 level, and really no hint in order flow or hedging flow that price was going to move higher. All right, so that's the short entry. Buy a QQQ put would have been a good trade, or selling QQQ shares or NQ futures. All right, let's take a look at the long setup. Just like the S&P 500, I thought this was a little bit more clear, more of a divergence setup here. Hero starts to rise, and just a couple of minutes later, those aggressive buyers come in to the NASDAQ. All right, let's take a look at some single stocks. I've got about 4 or 5 minutes. There were some good setups in stocks. So first of all, let's go to the stocks that reported earnings. There's Google. It gapped up pretty substantially. And let's see, right now Google is trading up just about between 5.5% and 6%. And note that traders were, as price moved down, traders were buying calls. That's shown by the rising orange line. And as soon as the call buyers took their foot off the gas, Google started to move lower. But a good long setup from about 9:35, just after the cash open. Let's go take a look at the chart in Bookmap. Go to Google. So there's your long setup. You can see all the aggressive buyers there. All right, the next is Microsoft. And Microsoft gap down. And so far it's trading down around 4.5% today. All right, let's take a look at Hero for Microsoft. I'm going through these quickly because I have to stop in just a couple of minutes. Microsoft. Nice divergent short here. Hero continued to move down, price moved up and then responded lower. Let's take a look at Bookmap, Microsoft. So there's the reversal lower. As traders continue to take negative delta positions. All right, the last I want to take a look at is Amazon. And there were some other setups as well. So let's go to Hero real quickly for Amazon. And this was really interesting to me. Set up a great, let me just point out this setup. Hero continues to rise, just a steady uptrend. Traders taking positive delta positions, setting up a great divergence long here. Let's go back to Bookmap. I'm going to go to the S&P 500 now, so we're ready for the announcement. We'll go to Bookmap. So here's your long setup in Amazon. Note the aggressive buyers coming in. All right, let's go take a look at the S&P 500. And we'll watch for the announcement coming out in less than 30 seconds. All right, the announcement is imminent. Let's zoom in a bit here. Oops. All right, so the announcement is the FOMC did, as expected, 25 basis point rate hike. We'll watch this for just a couple of minutes, then we'll see what options traders are doing. And as I usually point out, when I'm trading, I'm looking at two screens. So I'm looking at Bookmap on one screen and Hero on another screen. I don't have to jump back and forth, but of course I'm presenting on only one screen, so I have to jump back and forth. So for the S&P 500, still a pretty muted response. Note in the chart here, this is the VWAP, the blue line. And the purple line is the session volume point of control. So that's what those two lines are. Let's see what options traders are doing. Zoom in on this. I'm going to go to a shorter look back period. Let's go to 30 minutes. That'll give us a little bit more clarity. So Sheena asked, before I go, where can I find the PDFs in Discord? So I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. If you're talking about Tom B's PDFs, that's kind of off topic. He's a separate presenter, and he has a webinar, live daily stream at 11:30. All right, so my guides, I really don't have any PDFs like Tom does. I have some information pinned in Discord. So go to my channel, Options-Doug, and look for the pin icon in the upper right corner. But I don't have any, like a playbook like Tom does. Maybe I have not looked at his PDFs, but sorry, I don't have anything quite like that. All right, so it looks like so far, initially options traders taking positive delta positions. Again, remember, I'm looking at a shorter look back period, a 30-minute look back period, instead of cumulative data for the entire day. Let's go back to Bookmap. So still a pretty narrow range, price trading in a price still trading within that 454 to 455 level. Note that this stop orders took out the 45.80 liquidity. And that 45.80 liquidity has been in the order book. I'm going to go all the way back to, so it came in sometime last night, right here. And it looks like it has more orders, passive buy orders, limit buy orders built at that level until they were finally filled with this sweep stop run down to down to that level, just below the SPY 454 level. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. Also a pretty muted response. Looks like another quick sweep down to just below the 376 level. Let's go back and see what options traders are doing. We'll take a look at NASDAQ. Remember, we're on a 30-minute look-back period, so looking at just the last 30 minutes of data. And here, NASDAQ options traders are taking negative delta positions. So they're fading this move so far. That's for the first 7 minutes. And actually that started around 1:30. And then on the other hand, there has been some light iceberg buying. Notice the rising light blue line. And these are very small orders compared to the S&P 500. But large traders are in buying with iceberg orders. On the other hand, options traders taking negative delta positions. And so far for both the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, this is a pretty muted move. Let's go back to the S&P 500. So the S&P 500 still stuck in the 454 to 455 range. As the algos continue to parse through the statement. Fed indicates inflation remains elevated, unemployment remains low, job gains robust. And let's see what some single stocks are doing. So let me know what you guys want to see. Do you want to continue to watch the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, or take a look at some single stocks? Anybody have any thoughts or any opinion? All right, so Stay Focused wants to take a look at Google again. All right, so Google not doing much here, trading at a range between 129 and 130. So we'll take a look at Tesla. Tesla was a good long this morning. Now it looks like moving higher again. Note the bullish order flow. This morning, pullbacks, pullback entries. And now Tesla moving higher again. Note the shift in order flow. A lot of aggressive buyers coming in. Let's see what options traders are doing in Tesla. Let's go back to the one-day look-back period. So options trades and hedging flow in Tesla have been bullish all day, sending up longs. Pullback entries. Always looking for long entries with options traders taking positive delta positions. When traders buy calls, market makers sell calls, and they have to buy stock to hedge their delta exposure. All right, so let's see, Karma FX wants to look at Netflix. Looks like kind of a choppy session here in Netflix. But overall, well, first, I think that probably the easiest setup was right at the open here as price, it looks like, moved up. And now I don't have Netflix in Bookmap, so I can't look at this. Let's zoom in on this morning session. It looks like there was a slight move up to the 425 hedge wall, and then traders started taking negative delta positions. So the trade, if you were fast, it looks like would have been to buy a put at the 425 level, and that would have paid very well. And then another short setup as Netflix moved up and Hero started to move lower again. This time right around the 421, 422 level. All right, so there's Netflix. All right, then CarmFX wants to look at AT&T. That's we'll take a look at that. Not much of a mover, I don't think. It may not be in here, and I don't think it is. I don't have it in a Bookmap, and I think that's a symbol for AT&T. T, is that correct? So anyway, it's not in there. It's not. I don't think there's much of an options market in AT&T. All right, so Uncle wants to take a look at Meta, and on the other hand, there's quite a bit of options trading in Meta. Long and short setups. As usual, there's a very strong correlation between options trades, hedging flow, and price action in Meta. So a reversal long. Let's take a look at focus on this setup just right around 10 a.m. and note the slight divergence in Hero here. Hero falls, price makes an equal high, and then starts to move lower. So a little bit of a divergent setup there at 10 a.m. and then a reversal just after 11 with the indices as traders start taking positive delta positions. So this NASDAQ and S&P 500 started moving higher before Meta. So let's go take a look at Meta, and you're very welcome, Karma FX. Glad I can help. All right, so let's go back to Bookmap now. So Tesla continues to move higher. And here's the setup, the short setup in Tesla. Just between the 300 and 301 level. And good for 8 or 9 points. While the S&P 500 was chopping around in a 1 point range, but at the SPY, 1 point SPY range. Much more action in single stocks, at least for today. And you can see the shift in order flow as well. Notice all the green dots, market buy orders, aggressive buyers, moving price higher right to the 301 level, and then the sellers start to come in with the pink dots, aggressive sellers, market sell orders, and price moves down. And again, you can see the shift in order flow as aggressive buyers start to come in as price reverses right around the 292 level. So let's go, and there's that 1105, 1110 reversal that we looked at in Hero. Well, let's go back and see what is happening in the S&P 500. So it looks like ES went up and tested the, tested the 455 level to the tick. Let me just check that on a chart on another screen here. All right, so the high for that bar, I'm looking at another screen, was exactly 455, the volatility trigger, to the tick. Very interesting. So that level that has been resistance earlier in the day continues to be resistance, and now it looks like they're going to take another shot at it. Notice the rising light blue line, larger traders coming in with iceberg orders, 275 contracts, 3 executions, 232 contracts, 2 executions. Let's go take a look at Hero and see what options traders are doing. So let's go back to S&P 500. And for the S&P 500, there's so much cumulative data that I'm going to go back to the 30-minute look back period and see if that gives us any more clarity. And yeah, it does somewhat, but still not aggressive action here. So as usual, traders are buying calls and buying puts. Calls shown by the orange line. Notional value is positive, 240 million. And they're buying puts. Notional value is negative, 358 million. And although the signal is rising, it is net negative, as we just saw by the put buyers being more aggressive than the call buyers. And let's see if we get any additional clue by looking at the 0 DTE traders. So here, yeah, this is interesting. So we'll go back just so we're looking at mostly the information after the announcement at 2 p.m. And here, 0 DTE traders are net taking positive delta positions. So these are options that expire today for SPX, SPY, XSP, and ES futures. But now that seems to be shifting a little bit lower, taking their foot off the gas. And let's take a look at NASDAQ. So similar situation, the 0 DTE traders are leaning more positive. Let's go back to Bookmap. All right, so we know that this is a potential resistance level, but order flow does look a little bullish. There are a few small iceberg orders, and now price is reversing lower. So that so far that 377, 475 level call wall acting as resistance. Let's go take a look at Hero again. So really the biggest clue so far is really this overall trend lower, and also the negative notional value for all expirations. Go back to Bookmap. And larger traders continue to buy with iceberg orders. Light blue line continues to increase. On the other hand, aggressive sellers are in there. Cumulative volume delta continues to fall, as well as stop orders, both negative while icebergs are positive. Let's see what S&P 500 options traders are doing. So far, Hero continuing to move lower after about 212. after that initial move up. Let's just check, make sure I'm on the 30-minute look back period. We'll go back to the full day, and that is a little bit more clear. Still the same move lower at 212. So there's the move lower. So again, that was the reversal lower at that 455 level to the tick that acted as resistance. And if you didn't catch that first move lower, there was a second chance, pullback chance to the point of control in VWAP a few minutes later. So I think the key here was just to trust your levels. And again, the SPY 455 volatility trigger has been key resistance all day. Notice when we look at the entire day, we can see that sell stop orders have been falling all day, as well as cumulative volume delta. Again, both these numbers negative. All right, I'm going to wrap it up in a couple minutes. The press conference starts in about 2 minutes. Any last questions, comments? So now it appears that the 454 level acted as support. Let's go back and we'll take a look at Hero and see if there was any. Yeah, there was a clue in Hero. Right around 227, options traders started fading the move, taking positive delta positions. So mean reverting type trading activity in options. Right, Powell comes on in 1 minute. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up today. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks for your questions and comments. And I'll let you watch the action after the press conference. And this should be, I would think the press conference should be what actually moves the market, since the 25 basis point rate hike was pretty much baked in with a 99% chance. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for your questions and comments. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.